Good afternoon. Breaking into your programming again as a dangerous flash flood has materialized this afternoon on the south side of Chicago into the Darien area. Now rain gauge confirmed reports of up to 5.5 inches of rain. That's in Burr Ridge, just south of downtown Chicago. What we're looking at here is a 3 to 4 mile wide swath of incredible, possibly historic rain that fell in the past several hours. Meanwhile, people up in the Loop hardly have seen any rain today. We have our Asal Reside live right now in Ashburn. Asal, did you just get out there? What are you seeing now?
Yeah, David, we've been out here for the past couple of hours and we're seeing some widespread flooding in pockets of the south side. No rain in Beverly this morning as we were there around 11 o'clock. Around noon, things started to pick up. Right now, we're in Ashburn. This is off Hamlin and 75th Street. And take a look, David, right in the middle of the road there. That was almost impassable just about 20 minutes ago when we first pulled up here. Things are starting to drain, and we'll pan over. You'll see where that red truck just pulled in. Over that way, the flooding is a lot worse and it's starting to drain. You're going to start seeing people coming out. We've talked to a couple of people in this area who've told me that their basements are starting to flood, and we're seeing right now people trying to dig out their sewers that are covered in water, trying to prevent flooding and perhaps trying to get things moving again. This is what we're really seeing the most of in this neighborhood. I saw some people using their leaf blowers trying to clear some of the water, some people just trying to clear debris from their sewage by hand. And you'll see the corners of the sides of the road, I should say, are flooding here. About 20-30 minutes ago, David, when the rain was coming down really hard, we saw this area, and this is why we stopped here. It was almost impassable. In this neighborhood, there's a small pocket here of a residential area right next to Daly College. That's where we are. The most major intersection I can tell you is 76th and Pulaski is what we're closest to. And here, I had to turn around in this neighborhood 4 or 5 times just coming down different streets. And we always report this is if you see that you're not going to be able to pass, you have to turn around. And that's really what we've been practicing here this morning. We also saw on Western and 79th Street, that viaduct close by there, that was completely flooded. We're working to get that video to you. And David, out here, the rain is starting to calm down a little bit. We're seeing, you can still see on the water, it's still sprinkling, but the flooding is starting to clear a little bit as we see the rain start to die off a little bit. And we're going to talk to some people in this area who have told us that their basements have flooded a little. And as you mentioned, this could be a possible historic flood event. This is one of the neighborhoods on the south side that we know sees a lot of flooding when those heavy downpours do come down. So we're keeping an eye on this part of the neighborhood and other pockets here on the south side. For now, David, I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah, Sal, and we'll let you gather those reports here in just a moment. But real quick, on your way down there during the height of the storm, what were the roadways like that you encountered? And did you indeed see people driving through water-covered roads, which, again, we don't advise?
We did see that, David, especially near that viaduct that I told you about on Western and near 79th Street. We saw people attempting to go through, and it was so deep on some of the smaller compact cars, it was almost up to their windows. A lot of people, though, fortunately, we saw they were turning around in that viaduct area, and then a lot of people were just completely skipping it and going up on the sidewalks. We saw a lot of people driving on sidewalks trying to avoid that flooding. Some of the main roads, Pulaski, Kedzie, Western, most of those roads, we did not see any flooding, David. But once we approached that viaduct, that's the worst flooding we've seen close by on a main road. And then, of course, these neighborhoods, that's where I've seen the most danger as far as the conditions go in the roads. Small streets like this, these residential streets, is where we've seen cars trying to get by. A lot of cars, though, I'm happy to report, David, have turned around. Not a lot of people I've seen so far trying to drive through them. That is good news. Our
Asal Reside live in Ashburn. Thank you so much for your coverage, Asal. We'll let you go talk to the neighbors. Do be safe out there. Thanks again. Here in the First Alert Weather Center, we've seen this really incredible rain event over the past several hours. These are 6-hour rain totals, but it's been confirmed that almost all of this, or all of this in many neighborhoods, fell in an hour and a half. 6.5 inches close to Washington Park, west of Bronzeville. 6.7 inches just south of Midway Airport. 5.9 close to Bridgeview. 5 inches or so so just east of Willowbrook. Again, you could have been either north or south of this storm and not even known that there was any flooding going on at all. A very localized instance of flooding, which is not uncommon. When we get these rain totals, we don't get 6 inches across several counties. We get 6 to 7 inches in 1 or 2 little neighborhoods. Let me take you back to the radar picture here, and you can see how things have really cleared out. As Asal Razai was just showing you, the rain has nearly stopped across the flash flood warned area. If we put this into motion, you can see how things have been really continuing to wind down in this flood alert from Burr Ridge and Westmont and Darien eastward out toward the lakeshore south of the loop. We have had too many reports of water and flooding in roadways, vehicle rescues to count. We had a new vehicle rescue reported in Gage Park where there were, I believe, 2 cars that were in a flooded viaduct. 1 person required rescue. 1 vehicle was able to be towed out. Fortunately, as I mentioned, the storm has now dissipated for the most part, and any water that is out there should be receding as opposed to getting even higher. What's left of that same storm, though, is now pushing southeastward. So folks in Lansing, Whiting, of course, we have Pierogi Fest going on, some heavy rain and lightning on your doorstep. The fortunate news, though, with the continuation of this cluster of storms is that it's moving, and it's actually moving faster and faster as opposed to sitting over one spot. That means flooding is possible with a flood watch, including Chicago through 6 p.m., but any flooding like we've seen on the south side today is very unlikely because storms have to sit still for that to happen. We see these storms being quite progressive. Let me show you a quick projection of what we look like through the rest of the afternoon. It is possible that as this storm system exits northwest Indiana by 4 or 5 p.m., another disturbance brings another cluster of storms closer to our area later this evening. Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon will be watching the evening forecast unfolding, not only a threat of flooding now, but a threat of flooding through tomorrow night. More updates live streaming right now on CBS News Chicago. We'll see you soon.
This has been a special weather alert from the CBS News Chicago First Alert Weather Team.
And thanks for joining us for our continued streaming coverage. I'm meteorologist David Yeomans in the First Alert Weather Center. If you're just joining us today, a very narrow flash flood warning with a considerable tag on it. Devastating flash flooding for some folks who have flooded basements, who have been needed to be rescued from vehicles driving through water, just in this really narrow strip of South Chicago. If we zoom into this area, this is really a one affected area of, several. This is a very densely populated area, but it's a very small geographic area. The flash flood warning continues until about 2:45, so it should expire, according to what the National Weather Service is telling us, in the next 20 to 30 minutes. But it does not look like the flood problems will completely cease at that time. If folks have water in their basements, if they have standing water on roadways, we've seen reports of water up to cars' hoods. Vehicles' hoods are submerged in water in some parking lots out toward Burr Ridge. We've had rain gauge confirmations of up to 5.5 inches of rain that actually fell today. That's more than a full month's worth of rain during our rainy season, all in 2 hours. Radar estimates close to midway, 6 to 7 inches in some areas. The worst of this, though, is now passing, even though the flash flood warning continues. Let me take you on a quick tour again of some of the most incredible rainfall totals that we've seen. This is a 6-hour total accumulation, but keep in mind it hasn't really been raining much on the front end or the back end of that. So really the lion's share of this fell in just an hour and a half or 2 hours. If you're watching from out toward the lakeshore, Bronzeville, Washington Park, some of these areas in the yellow colors showing up to 3 inches of rain, 2.5 inches of rain. That by itself is nothing to sneeze at. We had a vehicle rescue on the southwest side of Washington Park on South State Street with only 2.5 inches of rain that had fallen at that time. Englewood, once we get toward there, Midway and Bedford Park, these are absolutely mind-boggling totals. I would say it's unheard of, but it's not. In this warming climate, warmer air holds more moisture, and heavier rain events are getting heavier. It's been documented, according to us and to the National Weather Service, in recent years and decades. Close to Englewood, you can see some of these totals. Let's query them specifically. In excess of 6 inches. On the northwest side of Englewood, this is a radar estimate, but likely very accurate, of 6.4 to 6.5 inches. Once we get to just south of Midway, these are parts of 50 that have seen flooding, 6.9 inches, almost 7 inches. We've actually seen some radar estimates of just over 7 inches. And toward Bedford Park, more of these purple colors mean more than 1/2 foot of rain has fallen in just a very short time this afternoon. We'll take you back to the radar, show you a broad picture. This flash flood warning, again, small as it is, will be expiring at 2:45, but we'll still be on the lookout for slowly receding water after that point. What's left of this storm system slowly clipping through northwest Indiana. Heavy rain, dangerous lightning, even torrential rain at times, but it will be moving instead of stationary, so significant flooding not expected there. But we have the same weather pattern in place tonight and through the day tomorrow, leading to more rounds of rain and an additional risk of flooding. We'll leave you with a live picture now of the city of Chicago as we get ready for more rain. Here we are on the Dan Ryan after very heavy rain on the south side. We'll leave you with this picture, and Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon back shortly with more live updates. Stay safe.